Hey guys, Mike from Craft Beer Storm, also founder, owner, brewer at Beara Brewing Co in glorious Portsmouth, New Hampshire. We're continuing our podcasts on the Craft Brewers Conference that I went to last week. I got a lot of great sound bites and discussions with people in the industry, and I just wanted to share them with you. Today we have a bunch of them, and this is the second part in our series. We'll just be sending them out there all week, this week and next week as well. There's a lot of people I talk to, but it's great information, so stay tuned. Okay, here we go. Hey, continuing my journey here, we came across GEA, and I saw Keith Naraki. How you doing, Keith?
Good.
Cool. Now, what does GEA Group do? You have a big display here.
GEA does a bunch of different things. Brew houses, yeast propagation, de-alkalization skid, which is behind you.
De-alkalization.
Yep,
so like you would take a beer and you would...
taking a double IPA down to 0.5%.
My God.
And you can crush it all day at the pool.
And that's where beer is trending,
same
I think.
Aroma, same flavor, because it's a cold process.
My God, and the same aroma and same flavor. So why do you need all the alcohol?
It's a good question.
You really don't.
It's a very good question.
You're at the pool and you're with the kids,
right?
And I think a lot of like I went to the Brew Talks the other night, and Sam was there from Dogfish Head, and he's like, Michelob Ultra is like killing it. They're selling like billions of barrels because they're marketing towards people who want to be fit.
Correct.
And I think that's a lot of people are trending towards the low cal, low alcohol, but they want the taste of the beer.
Well, and that's usually what you do. So you'll strip out the alcohol, and then you can put it into like a hard seltzer. So you kind of got like a zero waste.
And you put it in a hard seltzer too, yeah.
So I specialize in the centrifuge technology, and what we do there is more about getting more beer out of every tank. So that chocolatey milk type consistency you're typically dumping down the drain as a brewer,
right?
We're going to put that through a centrifuge and squeeze the beer out.
And squeeze everything out.
Correct.
That's awesome.
Yep.
There's so much beer. It's a sin. Like when I drain my tank,
double
there's,
IPA,
there's
big
crap in the
loads.
bottom. Yeah, there's all this crap on the bottom, which I do the whirlpool to get everything centralized. That way, when I rack it to the fermenter, I have some clearer beer, and then all that junk stays in there. But then you take it a next step further. You take all that junk.
Well, we take the whirlpool method and put 10,000 Gs to it.
Oh man, that'll do it.
Yep.
It's like NASA stuff.
Right.
Man, 10,000 Gs.
And it's for all breweries. So the machine that we have on the stand now is more in your 1,000, 4,000 barrel a year brewery. Before they didn't think that type of technology was kind of in that range, but if you can get another barrel out of each brew and another 3 barrels out of each fermenter, what does that cost at the end of the year?
And that's huge.
Right.
Even in the tap room, if you could squeeze out more and sell in the tap room, the margins are fantastic.
Right.
I just cry every time I see that junk going down the drain.
Yep. And it's consistency, right? So every New England style IPA, every Pilsner looks exactly the same every single time.
That's awesome. It's consistency. That's the name of the game. And like Anheuser-Busch has huge consistency, like the quality assurance and the quality control is huge. And they'll brew the beer in Atlanta, and then they'll brew the beer up in New England. It's the same beer, but they have the process down. That's the good thing about the beer there. So that's fantastic, man. Not just. It's like removing alcohol. What's the term?
De-alkalization.
De-alkalization. That's awesome.
I know. Never thought you'd see that.
I think that's be fantastic.
Conference.
Right. Why do you want to take the alcohol off? But that's the craft beer industry. It just trends different ways, and you got to adapt. You can't just invest all your money in like a certain process or like we're going to do all bottles now, and all of a sudden everybody wants cans. You're screwed.
Well, and you see a lot of breweries distilling now too, right? Because they're kind of trying to diversify their portfolio.
Exactly.
Same thing with this.
Distilling, ciders, stuff like that.
Meads.
Yeah. Cannabis-infused ale.
Well, you can de-alkalize beer and now put THC in.
And then put THC in, yeah.
So now you have a non-alcoholic beer, but
that
still
makes
you feel better.
Not that I smoke all, whatever.
We're in Denver.
But yeah,
we talk about it.
We talk about it, right? I think because it's so interesting because everybody's talking about infusing it in beer, But if you take the alcohol out and then you infuse it in, well, maybe that's okay. But everything is trending that way.
Yep.
But a lot of guys are creating these mists where you can, mist whiskey with THC. That's freaking. I don't know. That's like a recipe.
I haven't seen that yet.
That's a recipe. I've read it, and I've heard. We do stories every Friday about the things that are happening in the beer industry, and the cannabis is just coming up so much, and a lot of the bigger breweries like Constellation, AB, InBev are just throwing billions at this thing. They're getting Canadian companies and they're pairing them up with American brewers, and like your product here can probably help them out.
Yep.
Wow. All right, it was a pleasure meeting you, Keith.
You as well.
Thank you. Hey, we're here with Inland. They make labels for the brewing industry and a lot of other industries too. And we got Michael and Michael. We got two Michaels, and I'm a Michael too. So that's awesome. Michael Kurth and Michael Miller. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. Thanks,
doing
Mike.
great.
How do you like the conference so far?
It's been fantastic. Inland's been going to this since the beginning, since it started. We've been a sponsor all the way back when, in the early 90s, I think, when it started. And we're excited to be here again and be involved. We actually had a presentation yesterday. It was a packed house, and we had a lot of great conversations afterwards.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I met you guys last night at the Brew Talks, where we had Sam Calagione. He's probably not right, but he's the founder of Dogfish Head. He was hilarious. He was great. He was like some people on the keto diet, and he's like, I'm on the keto diet. Like O.J. Simpson had keto, and then he was like eating everything. That was hilarious. Anyway, getting back to Inland, you guys produce a lot of labels, not just for the brewing industry, but for all industries. So maybe you can expand on that.
Yeah, so I know within the craft beer industry specifically, you name it, whether it's a glass bottle, a beer can, a keg, keg caps, the whole 9 yards. We can produce different labels for those. So your paper labels that would go on a beer bottle, those sticker-like labels that go on cans, or those sleeves that you see on a lot of the beer cans out there today too. We cover really the whole 9 yards with it. So, which is great because the craft breweries. Their craft brewers can come to us and they might have different types of packaging where we can service them from different different avenues. So, and that's really what we're seeing a lot is that breweries are using cans, they're using bottles, they're using kegs, and it's really just making sure that they can have a diverse portfolio and we can service them. So.
But that's the thing, and we were talking about it before. I mean, you have beer, which is brewed, but it has to be packaged. And I was just at Cask, and they do the canning, and they have canning machines. But if you put a blank can out there, they don't know what it is. So the labels is a very essential part, and especially the design of the label and the aesthetics. It draws people in, any kind of packaging.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, and that's why this is a great event too, because you have everybody across the supply chain that a brewer would need to to meet with and work with. And we were just talking about this before, that you can make great beer, but you need to. There's a lot more that goes into that, and that's where someone like a printer like us who supplies the labels can help the folks within the craft beer industry kind of figure out who else they need to network with, who else they will need to get supplies from. And that's really I'd say one of the biggest messages is leverage your suppliers as the industry experts to help you get that great product out there.
Absolutely. And you say, I'm saying, how many labels do you print a year? You're like billions. You're like the McDonald's of labels, I guess, right?
Yeah.
You got heavy duty. You got big customers too.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we don't want to take the McDonald's trademark, but yeah, the billions and billions, literally, of labels every year. And a lot of it is within the beer industry, so it's really near and dear to our hearts. It's where our bread and butter is. Within the beer industry itself, I mean, we do work with the big breweries, but we have over 180 craft beer customers. And I know that it seems like a small amount when there's 7,000 out there, but there's the Boston Beers of the world, New Belgium's, Lakefront Brewery out of Wisconsin. We got to do a shout out to our homeland there, but
so you're based out of Wisconsin.
Yeah, based out of Wisconsin, and we have craft beer customers across the United States and in Canada, and in other countries as well.
Man, so you do Boston Beer Works, you do Sam Adams?
Yeah,
that alone is a huge amount of volume.
Yeah, Boston Beer has been a great customer of ours for for many, many years.
Man.
Really, since they kind of started, we've been working with them. And another interesting fact is, with New Belgium, we've been with them from the start too.
Wow.
Their first purchase order was a fax. They sent us a fax. Yeah.
I met the guy that invented the fax. I was at one of the. He's like, I'm like, you're kidding me. He's like, well, Google it. And we Googled his name, and he was the inventor of the fax. He was at MIT. But now I don't know that nobody really uses faxes anymore. Sometimes people say, fax it to me. I'm like, well, what? I don't have a fax machine. I'll take a picture or PDF it.
Yeah, scan.
And even now, printing, like people don't print anything anymore. They're just like, well, just look at your phone. Or they'll get like 8 screens and they'll look at their screens and stuff like that. But, so how could people get a hold of you if they wanted some labels?
Well, I'd say a good place to start is our website, inlandpackaging.com. We can definitely throw our other contact information out there, but that'd be a good place to start. You can call us through the general line or submit a form online. We also have a live chat, so you can start live chatting with one of our sales folks. We're here at the show, the rest of today and tomorrow, and I'd say that's probably the best place to start.
You can find us on Twitter as well. We're posting a lot of great content in terms of packaging, labels, in that industry as well.
What's our Twitter handle?
And then packaging.
There you go. And there's your labels. All right, guys. It was a pleasure to meet you both.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great rest of the conference.
Yeah, thanks. Cheers.
Cheers.
And now we're here with Russell Love. He's from Cask Global Canning Solutions. How you doing, Russell?
Really well, Michael. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, no, it's great. I met you last night, actually. And you're from Calgary, right?
I'm down
we were
from Canada.
talking about, Alberta. That's like the Banff and great Sunshine Village, awesome skiing.
Absolutely. Calgary's kind of like the Denver of Canada. We're straight north of here, right on the Rockies. Very similar city. Not quite as big and not as much beer going on.
And you got the Calgary Stampede that's going on.
We got the Calgary Stampede every July.
I must go. So anyway, Cask Global Canning Solutions, what do you guys do?
Exclusively canning systems and printed cans. We also sell bright cans as well, but for 20 years now, we've been selling just canning systems. We got our start way back in 2002 with Dale of Dale's Pale Ale, and we sold him a little tabletop manual canning system, which was actually at my 18th birthday, and as a gimmick to all my friends that I invited over to my 18th kegger, we hooked a manual canning system up to a keg and had a fun party in my backyard, way before craft beer and cans were a thing for anybody.
Man, everything is in cans now. It's ridiculous. And you guys must be crazy busy.
Absolutely. I mean, at that time, 15 years ago, cans were like 0% of craft beer, right? And now we're up to 41% of packaged product, the BA says. We went from that one manual system, 10 cans a minute. We've now got 5 systems all the way up to nearing 100 cans a minute at just about every price point and budget through that spectrum. We do automated depals as in-feed. We do labelers and shrink sleevers as well. So we really do full packaging solutions specific to cans.
Right.
And we also sell and supply cans through Ball Corporation. We've had an agreement with them for over 20 years because we helped them and Dale get into cans, and they've been such a supporter of the craft movement for a long time. We've got a pretty special relationship with them where we help small-scale craft brewers who maybe don't have the minimums or don't have the cash for the minimums that Ball offers, with lower minimum order quantities and a little bit more flexible storage and credit terms than Ball necessarily wants to advertise and offer to smaller craft brewers. So we're kind of a one-stop shop for canning.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. Canning it's been a challenge for me. I'm a very small brewer. So the price points are like, and you have to make a lot of beer, like a lot of volume in order to make cans work. And everything's in cans now, so.
Yeah. It does, there is an initial capital investment that's come way down in the last 10 years, right? You can get started for as little as $17,500 on our manual canning system, which is a brewery grade seamer. Same seamer that's on, rotary systems, the same tooling, same quality of tooling that's on large scale rotary systems, but, on a little 2 foot by 4 foot table that fits in any space. So you can get started for a decent capital these days.
Right, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are going into cans, and I tried it, but I don't know. I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
But they have mobile canning systems too, like Ironheart comes in.
Absolutely. Mobile canning is a great way to get started, right? It's a great way to dabble without having to come up with the capital up front. You're running purely OPEX. You can do your volumes, see if it sells, see if can sells. If sales grow, then you can maybe invest in a line yourself. But we find a lot of success in selling people their own in-house unit is mobile cannings are great to get going. But when you're getting to like 300 to 400 to 500 cases a month, you're spending low tens of thousands of dollars having that guy come in for a day. And the payback period on bringing your own line in-house, because of the affordability of the system, 1 to 2 years paid off no problem, and from year 1 to 2 on, you're ahead of the game. Yeah. So it's a great way to dabble and to start without having to come up with all that cash up front.
And it doesn't take up a big footprint like the smaller ones, yeah.
Absolutely. We can go super small and tight. I mean, in Calgary, we've got a brew pub customer that literally tucked in the basement in the back of their brew pub, tiny little space. 3 people get in there and it's full, but they can still run a canning line in that little space.
Right. Well, there's a will, there's a way.
Well, there's a will, there's a way.
All right. Well, thanks very much for your time. Cask Global Canning Solutions. Awesome.
Totally.
All right. Thanks, Russell.
No problem, Michael. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, I'm continuing my wandering around the exhibit hall, and I came across Dave France from IT Technology. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing well this morning. How are you?
I'm okay. It's a great conference. Hey, I've never really explored the canning and the packaging aspect of beer, which is very important, since I used to do bottles and nobody wants bottles anymore. Now everybody wants cans,
right?
And I can't afford to do cans. So I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? But maybe you can go over what your company supplies and what it does.
So most of our business within the craft beer industry right now has been focused on providing them with code dating solutions. Everybody's turned over a can of beer and seen the printing in the bottom of the can. That's what we do. And
that's really important. I mean, a lot of people look at it and they'll pick up like a 4-pack, and if they see an old date, they'll just put it back down.
Right, and with craft beer, you guys are really concerned about having the best, freshest beer at the front of the display, number one. So this makes it easier for the distribution channel to look at the bottom of a can and know what date it was canned or what date you want it sold by. We also have multi-line capabilities, so you can put on marketing messages. I have a customer down in Fort Worth called Beara Brewing. They make a beer with the graphic has the great big prow or bow of a naval ship on it, and on the bottom of the can they have the day and the time they made it, and then the other 2 lines say, "This beer's the ship's." Okay? So it's up to the creativity of the people who are making the great products, and we give them an outlet for some of that. We also give them a way to get away from a little grocery store stamping thing, putting it on top of the 6-pack holders.
Right. It's a labeling process, but it is a big part of the whole brewing process, I mean, canning and labeling.
Right, and we also make labeling equipment that can put a label on a beer can. We can put it on when the can is still empty. And there are label materials and adhesives now that will work on a filled can of beer, which is at 38 degrees and, condensing the humidity out of the air onto the side of the can. We can put a label onto that as well, so you can buy bright cans for your seasonal varieties and just have labels made for the 5,000 cans you're going to run.
Right. It's just stuff people don't think about, but it's a big part of the process, labeling and stamping. It's just another part.
And the nice thing about ID Technology is that we're a nationwide company. We've got 25 or 26 sales offices all around the country with salespeople and service technicians as well.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, Dave. Very interesting. All right, I hope you have a good show.
Thanks very much for your time, Michael.
So I'm in the hall again. I just interviewed Brewmaster for Deschutes, and that was awesome. But now I'm here, and I came across some shirts, which they have double XL left, which I don't take. I'm like a medium. It's 5x5 Solutions, and I'm here with Gina and Caroline. How are you guys doing?
Great.
So tell me a little bit about what your software does.
So 5x5 Solutions is a company that makes a brewery and distillery management software. Brew by 5, our brewery management software, has been on the market for about 18 months and does all productions management, from inventory receipt to the sale of beer to taproom distributors or customers.
Do you guys integrate with other software, or is it just kind of standalone? Or I guess
we currently have a live integration with QuickBooks Online, with plans to integrate with any number of other softwares in the future.
That's interesting. How long have you been in business?
The company's been around for almost 10 years with that distillery management product, and Brew by 5 has been on the market for about 18 months now.
As
you finding a lot of people are getting into it and a lot of customers?
Yeah, as many products as are on the market and available, there seems to be kind of an unsatisfied need for something that's a little bit more lightweight and a little less rigid. So we're trying to satisfy that request.
So it's important for breweries to really keep track of everything, because it is a business. It's not like a cool thing. Yeah, let's make some beer and throw hops in. Everybody will buy it. There's costs if you're manufacturing something. And if it doesn't make sense for you to, if you're paying more than what you're getting, it's not. I did it with cans. Like I keep talking about people about cans. I'm a smaller brewery. I'm like a 7-barrel brewery. And I'm like, all right, let's do cans. So we went nuts. I'm like, I'm not making any money. Like, I'm losing money here. I'm like, so I just stopped.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do this. I know everybody likes cans. I can't do it.
That's totally fair.
So have you seen that with other...
Yeah, so we implemented dynamic batch costing as one of our first features. So as brewers receive inventory into the system, we're creating those unique lots to keep you FDA compliant as well. And then as you use those materials, we're generating dynamic batch costs. So you can see where the money is actually going, and on a batch-by-batch basis, what your most valuable products are.
That makes sense. Then you can drill down to the actual cost per ounce.
Exactly.
And see if you're going to make money or not.
And per can and per keg and everything else.
And per keg, and the tap room is a much better margin. It's the best margin. So
Absolutely.
If you can bring people in, that's the best thing.
Yeah, and the serving function that we built into the system allows you to capture that cost as well, which is really useful.
Well, it sounds like a neat product, and I wish you guys the best.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
And we are still in the hall, and I came across ABS commercial, and they brew. Seems to me they have a whole brew system here. And I met Alex Smith. How you doing, Alex?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. So tell me more about ABS commercial. What are they doing?
So we are a full equipment supplier for the craft beer industry. One of the things that kind of makes us unique, we are based in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we also own and operate a 20-barrel production brewery there. So we actually brew on the equipment that we make and sell every day, which kind of gives us some unique insight on the design side, quality demands, even budget demands for craft brewers.
Now, where's your equipment made? Is it in China
so
or
it's made
here?
overseas. Yep, we have a dedicated producer, which makes us a little bit unique as well. So they are exclusive to us. It is our factory. And again, all the designs are done by us. So we're really focused on making equipment that suits the modern craft brewer. One of the things that we've found, people are making really hoppy beers. People are doing crazy things with fruit. A lot of the standard equipment designs from the 90s and even early 2000s don't really work as well for the styles that people are making today. So,
right, beer is evolving, and you need to evolve the equipment with it.
And the process is evolving. So that's also kind of fun for us on that side, is to customers will come to us with these challenges, and we come up with designs to meet those challenges.
Yeah, it's like when I dry hop stuff, people complain. It's like, oh, dude, there's like a lot of hops and I can't get it out of the tank. I'm like, well, I got to dry hop, but we got to figure it out.
Yep, exactly.
If we can't go through this way and blast the water out, then go through the other way and blast it up and,
exactly.
loosen it up and get it out.
Yeah. So it's been a really kind of cool couple of years to get deeper and deeper into those challenges. We've had a great show here so far. Made a lot of good connections, met a lot of old friends, and it's been
How long
good.
have you been around for?
So we're going on our 7th year now in business. Basically, Raleigh Brewing Company, our sister company brewery, was our first customer, and we've kind of been growing with the industry ever since.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I saw you guys. You were the sponsors at the Brew Talks the other night with Sam. And were you there? You weren't there.
I wasn't there, unfortunately.
That was very interesting.
Yeah.
With him. He was talking about the keto diet, and then he's like, "I'm on the keto diet," like with O.J. Simpson. The guy was hanging out in his backyard eating everything. It was hilarious. But no, I appreciate your time, Alex. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michael.
Still wandering around, and I came across Live Oak Bank. They were sponsors of the Brew Talks the other night, and I found Tracy Shepard. How you doing, Tracy?
Doing great, thanks, Michael.
Hey, so what is Live Oak Bank? I mean, why are they here? What are they trying to offer people?
Yeah, so Live Oak is a dedicated lender to the craft brewery space, and we just look forward to participating in CBC every year. It's a great show, a great opportunity for us to come out and not only meet existing clients, but get an opportunity to meet new prospects for us and connect with partners in the space.
And I guess you provide loans for brewers, is that what?
Yeah, exactly. So we focus on the craft beer space. We have for the last 5 years, and we provide financing options for breweries that are growing and expanding.
Excellent. I know it's a very capital-intensive industry. You could blow a lot of money very quickly. Is that what you found, or?
Yeah, it definitely does take some money to make this thing go. But we've found that the breweries would have the right plan. Typically, bootstrapping it in the beginning, but once that momentum really catches up and they're looking to either put more money into equipment or new facilities and second locations, that's really where we feel like we can come in and help.
You come in and kind of, they have ideas about expanding, and that's where you come in.
Yeah.
You look at kind of their business plans and what they want to do, and also historically what they have done, and then you make your loans, I guess, based on that.
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. So what we do is we take a look, and ideally clients who really fit Live Oak the best have been in business for a year or more. They've got momentum, top line growth, people love the beer, and they just need to get to the next level. So that typically includes increasing the size of the production capacity, helping them open up new markets. And in this market, really what we're seeing is as much beer as you can sell over the counter tends to be the best way to have that new organic growth prior to any large scale wholesale distribution growth. So tap rooms and just growing organically in their own backyard is really what we're seeing right now.
I think that's the way to go. Just grow organically, through the tap room. The margins are the best in the tap room.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, Trace, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, that was a lot of good information from some quality companies at the Craft Brewers Conference in Denver. And they are, GEA Solutions, Inland, Cask, ID Technology, Promoc, 5x5, ABS Commercial, and Live Oak Bank. And that's just some of the companies and individuals that I talked to. I got more, but this is the second part in our series, which we will bring into this week and next week. So check them out. I got them in the show notes. I got links to their websites. Good stuff. And if you like our podcast, you like the content I'm delivering, go on iTunes, give us a rating, give us a review. That's the only way we get up in the rankings. And that's what I have for you today. So I will see you on Wednesday. We'll continue.